for whatever color you want your envelope to be. This is a large 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11. Overlay these two and stack them neatly, and grab some blue painter's tape and tape the corners, meaning around the edge. So I have tape on the front and it's going to overlay to the back like this. This will prevent your pages from moving because we're basically going to use this template to create our folder. So I just did the 2 corners. You can do all 4, whatever's easier. So these dotted lines are where we want to fold. So I'm going to take my ruler, because I'm right-handed, make sure that the ruler's to the left of the line and align it so it's nice and straight. Then take my burnishing tool, and like we did when we did our gluing of the book board, I'm going to fold this along that fold all the way over and use my burnishing tool to really get a nice hard crease and then open that up. So maybe I'll move the ruler and just go back over that. Because this yellow paper is cardstock, you're going to definitely need a burnishing tool to get a really nice hard fold. And then flatten that out. And I'm just going to keep repeating that, rotating my paper at every dash line. So you're essentially folding around this rectangle. So I'm going to first use my hands so that my ruler doesn't move, because I want this to be exactly where that dash is. Then I can move it and do my burnishing. And you're going to burnish all the way off the page. So again, I'm going to align it, rub from underneath, fold it over that ruler, move the ruler, flatten it, burnish. I'm doing this quickly. You can slow down the video or go back if you need to review. But I'm doing all 4 sides. Burnish. Don't forget to burnish. That's to get a really nice hard crease. Now, I'm going to take scissors. We used to do this with X-Acto knives, but you can see where I wrote the word cut. I'm going to cut all the way in on those lines. So I'm going to cut this triangle out, and then this line. Any solid line is a hard cut. So notice I'm cutting both my template and the yellow paper. So I'm going to rotate at this end, and this time I'm actually going to try to cut from the triangle. And again, I'm doing this quickly. First, I'm going to cut all the triangles, actually. I think it's easier to do the triangles, because if I cut the other lines where the tape is, then my pages will fall apart, and I don't want that. So I'm going to cut this here. I'm going to go back in and cut this little piece that I missed there, and then this last triangle. Okay. So once you cut your triangles, you can see all my corners are cut. Now I'm going to cut these lines, and I'm going to do these ones last because that's where my tape is. So I'm going to cut this one and cut as neatly as possible. If you need to, use a ruler and X-Acto knife, but I think scissors are fine for this activity. My last one, cut and cut. Okay, so now my envelope is pretty much cut to size. So this blue piece of paper is scrap, but we're going to save this so when we glue, we don't get glue on the inside of our envelope. So I'm going to first fold in the sides. These are the like longer triangles. These are the sides of your envelope, and fold up 1. So this would be my bottom. Now this is not folding neatly. That means I need to cut this just a little bit. That's probably where the triangle was that I didn't cut on that line. So I'm going to just trim it just a little bit. So first test that out. So I'm going to fold these 3. So there's my envelope, and then this would be the top part. But I want to glue this. So watch how I do this, because students have made the mistake of not putting scrap paper inside, and then they glue it, and then you can't put anything in there because there's glue and it's all stuck together. So I'm going to put this blue paper inside my envelope, and in this area, only on the overlapping areas. So right now, it's going to overlap here. And notice I'm getting glue on this blue paper. That's why it's there. It's scrap paper. I'm going to overlap there and burnish that. And now I'm going to glue up these insides, sort of like the top or the bottom of the yellow paper, which would be like the top of the triangle. And again, this paper here is getting glue on it, but that's okay because this is going to be garbage. So now I'm going to pull this scrap paper out, because there's glue on that. I can throw that out. Now there's glue only here, but there's no glue underneath. I'm going to fold that neatly and then let it dry. There is a little bit of extra glue there, so I don't want to close this because that will close my envelope. But that's it. So now when we do our pop-up, we can keep all our pieces in here. So on the front, I'm going to put my name, because I know this is then my project. And that was it.